Alright guys, so let's start learning how to do our joining process using a simple single crochet. There are two different ways that you can do this. So you have two granny squares, and depending on if you want the ridge between the granny squares to be what I call a little bit of a 3D effect, meaning it's going to stand up and show on the front of the afghan or scarf or project that you're doing, or if you don't. So that's going to depend on which way you're joining these squares together. So let's take our squares and hold the backs together. So you take your two granny squares, hold them back to back, and then you want to simply, and I usually will start in, you can start in the corner, which is what I usually do, corner to corner, and I'll put a slip stitch in there, and then you can go straight to the top of the first double crochet, and then you can work your first single crochet, and then you'll go to the second double crochet. So you have 3 clusters, so now we're going to go into the second double crochet of that third cluster. Now keep in mind when you're doing this, you want to make sure at all times that you are lining these up, because if you do not keep them lined up, they are going to be callywampus, which is crooked. So now you're in your third one, so your third one here, and you want to make sure you're in your third one here. So go here and here. So basically each time you go into a stitch, you want to make sure to have 4 loops on that hook. So you're going to single crochet here. Now you have a choice here. You can either go into the space and work a single crochet, or I have sometimes just made a simple chain. So either way, you also have an option there to do as well. It's totally up to you. You know, it gives you just a little bit of a variety. So I'm just going to put a chain in there. Now you're going to do the same thing in this next cluster. You want to go into the top of the 2 double crochets that are held back to back. Make sure you have 4 loops on your hook and just work a single crochet. Now you're just going to work this across, making sure that you're still even, and 1 in the space. Okay, so our next cluster. And you can also do this with half double crochet or double crochet. It works out the same way. So 1 in the space. And then our last cluster. And then you're going to come up on your corner, so put yourself a single crochet in there. Okay, so if you see your ridge here is on the actual, on this side here that we've got working. So now we're going to open this up, and I'm going to back my camera up a bit. So we held the back sides together. Now this is the back side when we held them together, so basically your clean edge does not show the ridge. But if we flip this over, your front side, what you are going to be looking at when you look at, say, let's pretend like we're making the afghan, your afghan is going to show this big ridge. If you see what you're looking at here, and if I hold this up, you see you've got this big, maybe a ½ inch ridge sticking up here. And I have worked some afghans where this is actually a very presentable, nice effect to a project or an afghan. Okay, and then I've worked some that I did not like that at all. So it depends on the project. Some look great with that, what I call a 3D effect, only because it stands up and it stands out and yells at you. And I've worked some, it's just not workable with the project. So this is one effect and one way to work that single crochet joining procedure. Now the other thing, I'm going to pull this out and we are going to work the other way to work your single crochet join. So put your yarn back on your hook. So now we joined with our wrong sides together. So now let's put our right sides together and let's redo that. Okay, so now with our right sides together, we're going to do the same exact thing. So starting in the corner, you want to work single crochets all the way across, just like we did before. And like I said, just weigh out your options. Make sure, do yourself a sample piece or a couple stitches of whatever you're working on before you really jump in with your project and devote all your time and energy into one particular way of bordering, or not so much bordering but joining. That way, if you find that once you turn your work and you look at it and you really don't like the way it looks, you're not frogging the whole thing. Because yes, I've done that too. Okay, so we're going all the way across here, and now we're in the corner. Alright, so now we're going to open it back, and now our front side looks so much cleaner and it's a lot more even, because now that big, heavy, thick, tall border is not on the front side. You see how nice and even that this is? Because the border part is on the back side. So that is the difference in how you use your single crochet join method on your Afghan project or whatever project that you're using. And then whenever you go to add your next single or your next square longways, you will have to finish this off, or you know, and then there's another way you can continue to join, but this is not how to not a tutorial on continuous joining, but you will have to finish off, and then you will come down here and you will start here just like we did, and you will add another square the exact same way. So this is how to join in single crochet 2 ways. So I hope that this helped you to understand a little bit more the dynamics of how to hold your granny squares together and the effects that you would get with one holding them together one way versus the other. So until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and happy hooking!